Welcome to game week 9. So real quick, now that we've had a previous game week and a new game week, we will do a proper review. So we'll start off with the review. Let's see, Chelsea taking on Leicester. Sorry, Leicester, it's not going to happen again. Chelsea looked pretty sharp. They were clearly motivated by Williams' mother passing away. The only time I'm ever going to give props to Diego Costa is his celebration, and Hazard's. You know, they threw up the 22. When they scored Williams' number, so good for them. Leicester this is always going to be a huge problem for these small teams in European football, is that they do not have enough players. Ranieri had to make sacrifices. He's like, okay, who am I going to rest? Who do I want to make sure is 100% for the Champions League? Mahrez got rested. That's how it went. I am filming this on Thursday, so he ended up scoring the winning goal. So they're still doing really well in Champions League, but their league campaign is already suffering because of it. And Vardy, I don't know if he needs to take more Red Bulls or fewer Red Bulls, but he hasn't been as sharp, and I think a lot of that is simply the fact that Conte isn't winning the ball back for them as frequently, and therefore he's not getting the balls to attack like he was all of last season. Arsenal, Swansea. First off, congratulations to Bob Bradley. That honestly was about as good as you could hope for. Arsenal kind of screwed themselves. Granit Xhaka, that red card. If you look at the replay, I don't think anyone can really complain about the red. Some people say that's maybe it's a harsh red, especially because he didn't have too many fouls. But if he wouldn't have stopped the ball there, that would have been a 4-on-2. And even though I've got tremendous faith in Kostafi, as they're calling it, the center back pairing, I think that was a good tactical foul, and Arsenal is missing that. Arsenal is missing someone who's willing to kind of grind out the win and get a tactical foul. Inning score was 3-2. Walcott with another goal. He's just clearly on drugs right now. I don't know what it is. It looks like motivation. He's just hungry to play again. He's kind of found that spark. He's not thinking as much, and as an old player, I think that is something that can definitely hurt players, is when they just start thinking, like the passing options, all the other crap, where they should be going, when they should be making the run. So he's playing a little bit with some more freedom, not to sound like Arsene there, but it looks true to me. City, Everton. I'm going to come back to this because the majority of this video is going to be me ranting about how fucking sick I am of players missing penalties everywhere. Not just Aguero, especially Aguero, but everyone is missing fucking penalties right now, and I'm furious about it. Sunderland, Stoke, two teams without a win yet this season. Stoke came out on top. I don't think anyone is really surprised by that. What is surprising is that Joe Allen appears to be a legitimate fantasy option. He is in great form right now. I don't know what the exact stats are, but it's something like 4 goals in 3 games with an assist thrown in there as well. I haven't really watched Stoke play, so I'm not sure how attacking he's been. I saw the goals, but just throughout the flow of the game, how many chances he had, how many he created, so on and so forth. I think even if a player isn't coming through with fantasy stats, being in the right parts of the field are really, really important. You notice how I said field there because I'm an American, and when an American says pitch, it sounds fucking retarded. Stop saying pitch, Americans. You can say field. There's nothing wrong with field. West Brom Spurs. This one I actually got the prediction right. West Brom's really hard to break down at home. Spurs are still a really hard team to break down as well, but ends 1-1. Bournemouth scored 6 goals this weekend. This player named Stanislas, for those of you only thinking about Joe Allen, should be just as much in your thought at the moment because he had 2 goals and 2 assists out of the 6 goals. He also is in pretty good form right now. Another player who's got 3 or 4 goals in their past 5-ish games and some assists thrown in there. Hull were definitely better when they didn't have a manager. The Southampton game, I think they won. Southampton that is my answer to clean sheets at the moment because my fucking team is terrible, and I'll rant about them here in a second, but Southampton should be a team that I think just about everyone should have a defender from. Shane Long just got injured. I'm filming this on Thursday. He got injured in their Europa League game. But for the people contemplating a cheap third budget forward, Charlie Austin might have just got that call-up. I don't know the extent of the injury for Shane Long, but he could have a good run of games here real quick. Pool United, things I'm going to say about it. Done. That's pretty much it. The real winners here, people who have Walcott, people who don't have Aguero, people who got rid of Ibrahimovic, people who kept faith in Chelsea players. I fucking hate Costa with a passion, but if you have him as a forward, well on you. Lukaku scored against City. I mean, City's defense has been suspect all season, but I still think it's hard to play a forward against one of the top 4 teams sometimes. And then anyone who has any decent Bournemouth coverage. Let's talk about my team for a second. So I transferred out Luke Shaw for Zabaleta, thinking that Shaw was kind of coming back from the injury and a little bit out of favor, and that Bakary Sagna just got injured, so that Zabaleta would pretty much be coming in as a cemented right back for City at, I believe, like less than 5 mil. So what does Pep do? Plays 3 at the fucking back. It's like being in an abusive relationship, honestly, is what it is. You put so much effort, so much love, so much heart. You just give and give and give. All they do is take, and then they take what they took, they throw it on the ground, they spit on it, they piss on it, they shit on it, they light it on fire, and then they give it back to you and say, hey, here's 28 points at the end of the fucking week. So Man City fucking burned me because, like many managers, I captained Aguero, thinking that's a pretty safe pick. What happens? He ends up not playing the first half because Pep is resting him, and he didn't play for fucking City against Barcelona. That was a shit show as well. And then he comes in, they draw another penalty, thinking, okay, KDB's not going to take this. He missed the first one. This could salvage. This could be okay. You know, if Aguero scores that, it's going to be 5 points. Didn't play the full 60 minutes. Doubled, it's 10, and that's as good as you could honestly hope for. He fucking misses it again. I'm not very good at this sport. I played all the way through high school. I had some club play with just local clubs around my time, all through high school still. I've never missed a penalty. Even to this day, I take penalties for my Sunday league team. We keep it very simple. And I don't know what it is about the mentality, if it's either not taken seriously enough or taken too seriously, but when you're going against a keeper from 12 yards out, gravity is in your favor. If you keep the ball on the ground, David De Gea at 6'4", 6'5", can get there, but he has to spring fast enough to get there. He doesn't have any help from gravity, as where if he jumps up, he can generate a lot more power from his fucking legs, jumping up than kind of jumping down, as it were. Aguero's now missed, is that 3 penalties? KDB missed one. Neymar missed one in the Champions League, ended up scoring again. Benteke missed one over the weekend. This is fucking insane. I've never seen this many penalties missed in this span of time, but it is absolutely infuriating, and I'm about to just start practicing FIFA 17 penalties a lot, is what I'm going to do. Segment I would like to do, starting right now, is what I'm going to start calling Techers of the Week. 3 excellent contestants. Sane had a nice meg. He then dived in the penalty box, so that's 3rd place. Ozil had a really nice meg and then ended up going out of bounds or just losing possession. But the best nutmeg of the week goes to Mr. Alex Iwobi. Iwobi had a fantastic little dribble like outside the 18 where he beat 2 or 3 players, and then right at the end, the last one he beat, he megged him, and then he passed the ball off. But it was fantastic. Iwobi, you love players like Iwobi because he's young and he plays without any fear whatsoever. He just goes at players. He needs to work a little bit harder defensively. I think that's why Swansea scored 2 goals, was because he wasn't kind of covering back enough to help Monreal out. But super fun to watch. Sorry, I just saw my overall rank. I was like knocking on the door of under 100, or like 90,000, somewhere in there. I was about 111,000 in game week 6. Now sitting at 400,000. So thank you. Transfers. I went big this week. I hadn't taken a hit yet, so I transferred Zabaleta out. I transferred Ibra out finally for Callum Wilson and Nathaniel Klein. I also transferred out Kingsley, Swansea's 4.0 defender who hadn't played, for Adam Smith. I transferred out Cazorla for Walcott and Jordan Ibe for Sterling. So basically, going from Ibra to Callum Wilson freed up a lot of money to kind of just balance things out. I took a 16-point hit, which I never, ever recommend, and this is the first time I've ever done one this big. But I'd already used my wild card. I had 3 players not playing at all out of my starters. And things were just absolutely screwed. So I took the hit, and at this point, if I can not take a hit until the next wild card is available, then it should kind of balance out. You know, it's still pretty early on. We'll see what happens. I highly doubt that the 16-point hit is going to make or break my overall rank at the end of the season. I could fuck that up all by myself. Upcoming fixtures, we've got Bournemouth Spurs. Bournemouth at home. Spurs are coming off Champions League. Bournemouth's not. Spurs lost their Champions League game too. Or drew it. Who cares? Doesn't matter. They're not going to go very far. This one's kind of hard to call. After, you never know if the Bournemouth 6 goals was the beginning of something or just the random spike in form, and whether or not Spurs are hitting a challenging fixture and they're starting to run into some problems. Alderweireld's out defensively. He's a huge piece defensively and attacking for them. We all know how good he is on set pieces coming up for corners. If someone's going to score a set piece for Spurs, it seems like it's him 9 out of 10 times. Arsenal plays Middlesbrough on Saturday. Arsenal won their Champions League game, as we all know, and actually did rest, not necessarily rest, but rotated well. Ozil got a hat trick, so you never know if he's going to be kind of breaking out of his shell. Walcott scored again. Sanchez scored. Oxlade-Chamberlain scored. That was it. That was all 6 from there. So I think Arsenal's still going to take this one. They're at home again, too. Burnley-Everton. Hopefully Lukaku's coming in. Ronald Koeman has really improved this defense. I know that they gave away 2 stupid penalties to City, but still, overall, I think they look... With Roberto Martinez, their manager last season, every fucking time they lost the ball, it was a counterattack opportunity. They just were overexposed. They're pushing way too many people forward at the wrong time. They'd be up 2-0 in the 75th minute, and instead of just sitting back and winning the ball and then just kind of holding possession, they're just throwing numbers forward like idiots. So hopefully Everton can get this one. Hull Stoke City. Stoke is away. Hull are still just in turmoil, so if someone's going to win it, it's Stokes for the taking. Leicester Crystal Palace. You want to say Leicester. You always do. I don't think... Vardy didn't play much in the Champions League. So if he and Mahrez are both playing, and Slimani, that other forward, he had a pretty nice assist just because he can hold up the ball and he knocked it down to Mahrez for their Champions League goal. I can see Leicester winning this, but at the same time, Crystal Palace is off to a pretty damn good start, and they have the pieces now to be a good attacking threat. And when you're playing away from home, just play without any fear. Just go attack. Like, it's not on you to be perfect, as it were. Swansea-Watford, who cares? I mean, I do care. I want Bob Bradley to do well. I'd love to see him finish top 10, but fantasy-wise, not relevant. Capu might be kind of slowing down. You know, we all kind of knew this, but his goals, you know, his 4 goals in the first 5 games was off of, I think, 6 shots. He was just the right place, right time kind of finisher, but he wasn't creating anything. The ball was just falling to him, and he was putting it away, which of course is great. But in fantasy, you need, you know, it's a numbers game. You need 10, 11 chances created, which leads to 2 or 3 shots, which leads to hopefully 1 or 2 goals. He's not doing enough to consistently put those numbers up. West Ham Sunderland. West Ham should be their lifting point. You know, take down Sunderland. Moyes is probably going to be the first manager to go at this point. I still think Mourinho, especially after winning today against Fenerbahce, I don't think they're going to axe him very soon. I think it'll be Moyes more than anything else, just out of desperation to not get relegated for Sunderland. Let's see, Liverpool, West Brom. Hopefully Poole can actually play some attacking soccer here on this one. They are home. They'll try to go for the win. They're not going to have the life sucked out of them like Mourinho teams try to do. City take on Southampton. City's in a bit of a funk now, and I know I just was sucking Pep Guardiola dick last week, but, you know, they tied Spurs. Yeah, they tied Spurs, they tied Everton, and they lost to Barcelona. So they haven't won in 3 games now. Aguero might be kind of a nagging injury, or Pep might just be fed up with his bullshit missing penalties. So you don't know. This could be a game where City kind of click back into gear, or this could be the sign of them going through a real rough patch. And then Chelsea United on Sunday. This one's going to be funny because it's going to be the Chelsea fans being rent boys and the United fans saying, oh, we've always loved Mourinho. This is probably going to be another like 0-0, 1-1 game. If you thought that Liverpool United was going to be an attacking fixture and it was 0-0, there's no hope for the Chelsea United game being an attacking fixture. Just no chance. You know, I think that's about it for the most part, guys. Oh, one of the notes I wrote down. I think it was during the Leicester-Chelsea game, But the commentator, the announcer, he said, it's all about risks and fists. And I think he was just simply talking about, like, Courtois coming out and actually hitting a ball, like taking the risk to go out and get it. But I was just dying because, in my mind, risks and fists, has nothing to do with goalkeepers. That is an entirely different kind of risk and whether or not you like fists. So, one time I clicked on the wrong link. Supposed to go. Never mind. Yeah, I think that's about it. I think we covered everything. Anyways, I hope you all have green arrows. May your arrows be green. On to Game Week 9, and hopefully it's not the shit show that Game Week 8 was. Thanks, guys.